Welcome back to 1010's Podcast. I'm your host, Robbie, out sitting in the Kanka Motorsports studio, and I have Adam on Zoom, and I'm tired. God, I'm tired. Why am I so tired? It's been...
You're telling me, Robbie.
I'm not like I shouldn't even be this tired.
That's kind of how I feel a lot. Like, I swear on days when I should be less tired, I'm more tired.
Yeah. Like, this week, I actively tried to just relax. Like, catch my breath, take it easy. I mean, I really didn't do that because I came home and I was like, oh, I got this to do, I got this to do, I got this to do. But I shouldn't be this tired. It's weird. I'm probably dying.
Yeah. I don't know. My dad always told me, like, when I was younger that, like, if you just get up and you get to doing stuff and you're not just, like, lounging around being lazy, you'll feel less tired. And I kind of wonder if that's maybe part of it. Like, oh, I didn't do anything this week. I shouldn't be tired, but I am. Like, well, it's because I didn't do anything this week.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff at work.
Much as I don't want to admit that he's right.
Oh yeah, no, you never admit your father's right. Never.
You might have been on to something there.
Well, work's been kind of weird too. Like all the stuff I've been working on has been computer based. I'll sit at my desk for a long period of time, and that is way more exhausting than if I was running around all day. How design engineers work 10 hours in a row sitting in front of a computer, I will never know. I don't get it.
So I was doing some work in downtown Des Moines this week at 801 Grand, which is like the tallest building in Iowa or whatever.
Yep.
It's like one of our big high-rise.
It's the only thing that gives Des Moines an actual skyline.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like 44 stories or something, which for like all you big city folk is like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so my apartment's like 60.
Yeah, but it's like, that's a big building, man. It's the biggest building in Iowa. What do you want from me? But like I was walking through the parking garage going from one side of the building to the other with one of the maintenance guys who was showing me where I needed to be and all that stuff. And I'm like looking around like, man, there's like nothing in here. Like there's legit like 10 or 15 cars in the entire parking garage. And I said something to him about it. He's like, yeah, nobody comes to work anymore. Everyone just works from home. And then I was talking to a friend of Katie's who's an office employee at some building downtown.
Yep.
And she's like, yeah, our company, like they were, before this whole Corona thing happened, they were like trying to figure out, we needed more office space. And they were trying to figure out how to where they were going to find the $4 million they needed to break their lease so that they could move to a bigger building. And now they're just going to remodel the one we have to be like meeting spaces and like desks that you can like essentially sign out for the day. And a majority of the people will be at home unless they're needed in a meeting, even once this stuff moves on.
I think Rolls-Royce was doing that a handful of years ago for all the business people. Yeah. So like they have, I think in Indianapolis, and again, I haven't actually been there, so I'm making a lot of assumptions from conversations I've had.
Right.
So if somebody from Rolls-Royce is listening, they're like, you fucking idiot, you don't know. We're just going to go with what I think I know. But I think Rolls-Royce India has it set up where all the business people work from home or on the road or, whatever they're doing that gets the business done. And the only time they go to the office, which is like a really small, like in a strip mall building. It's really weird because you'd think Rolls-Royce had this huge factory or this huge headquarters type thing. No, it's just like this small office in it's just a regular business park. So you just show up and you sign into a desk or you hook your laptop up to a desk and no one has assigned desks or offices or anything. So I think that's probably the future. I think people were going that way before coronavirus, and now I think that's definitely the future for anything business related. If you're not actively involved in like manufacturing, I'm pretty sure that's what your future is going to look like.
I think there's a lot of people who have realized like, man, I don't need to come into work every day. Like I can stay home and get 75% of my work done, and I can spend 25% of my time in the office, and that's better.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're on the phone, like talking to clients or, setting up contracts or, doing that type of business work, all you need is a quiet office to yourself. You don't need
as long as it's quiet, it's reasonable.
You just lock the door and tell your kids to stay the hell away.
If you have kids.
Yeah. Or your dogs, tell them to shut the hell up. Stop barking at the neighbors or the mailman.
Just kick them out.
Yeah.
Send them packing.
Yeah.
Don't play in traffic. That's what I tell my dog to do all the time.
Mine will do it.
My neighbor's like, shocked when I say that. She's like,
how could you say that?
Because I'll tell my kid that, like, he'll be bothering me when we're outside. I'm like, "What's you like playing traffic or something?" She's just like, "Oh my gosh!" Every time it makes me laugh.
Child services.
So now I say it as often as possible when she's around.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, as you do.
Of course, you got to say something to offend the neighbors.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's weird. I don't know how we got here. I forgot.
I don't know. I was talking about something. I mean, not that.
Can we open it up?
Are we opened? Are we opening it up?
We can start there.
All right. Well, let's open it up. As always, our opener is presented by Factory Fabrication, our friend Booney, who's going to be building my cage. I'm pretty excited about it. It's like the only thing I'm excited about.
As you should be.
Yeah. So, no news on there. I just got the car stripped, and then we're dropping it off as soon as they get done with their race at Hallett. And speaking of his race team, ZR3 Racing, I have the shirt on. As you can see, it fits me terribly because it is a beefy tee like Adam loves.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. It's great.
It is a black Gildan Ultra Cotton unisex shirt, which fits everybody.
Good. So good.
And by fits everybody, I mean doesn't fit anybody.
Come on,
but
Robbie.
Adam loves it. And
so
if you
good.
want your very own, you can go to zr3racing.bigcartel.com and get your own racing shirt.
It gives your armpits space to breathe, Robbie. There's nothing wrong with that.
It doesn't fit my arm. Look at that. It just flops in the wind like a bird.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't have to be skin tight, dude. It doesn't have to look like you painted it on every day.
Yes, it does. I got to be sexy for the ladies.
No, it's not a requirement.
Yes.
You're married, man. She's stuck with you.
She needs to know that people are looking. That's why I need a tight shirt.
She doesn't need to know anything.
I got to keep it. I gotta keep her pursuing me.
Nah,
yes, that's the key. That's a key to a happy, healthy marriage. Is jealousy,
it's not, man.
Yes, it is.
That's just jealousy. You know that Scrubs podcast that I talked about quite a while back?
Yeah, of course.
They had this show creator on one of the podcasts that I was listening to today because I'm way behind because they do 2 a week.
Oh shit!
I can't keep up.
No, that's too many.
Yeah, I've got like 10 I haven't listened to because I try to listen to all my friends' podcasts and stuff like that too on top of that. So there's no way I'm going to keep up, but I'm trying. But they had the show creator on there and he is married to one of the people that's in the cast actually. And he says that the key to his successful relationship is a healthy dose of fear of his own wife.
I can confirm that.
He's too afraid he's too afraid of her for it not to be successful.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's funny to me.
Yeah, the wrath of a angry wife. It's not good.
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky so far. Haven't pissed her off too bad.
Well, that's good.
I haven't brought home anything very expensive lately. Yet.
It's time to fix that, Robbie.
Yeah. She knows my plans, so it would totally fuck up all my plans if I showed up with something expensive.
That's probably fair. So,
anyways, let's open it up, Adam. You had something.
Yeah, so convertibles have been a thing in the past that I think we've kind of touched on here and there. I'm pretty sure that I can say we in this situation are not exactly the biggest convertible fans, generally speaking.
There's a handful of cars that exist that I'd be fine with as a convertible.
Yeah,
but in general, no.
Most of the cars that I like as convertibles are very expensive cars.
Yeah.
I think that the Ferrari 458 actually looks better as a convertible.
That's the one, or the 458.
458. That's the one I like. One now. I think there's another one after the 488 now, but I like. There's a couple of them. They seem to mostly be supercars, but there's a handful of them that I do really like as convertibles. But a lot of manufacturers have kind of strayed away from building too many because they're just not cash money cars anymore like they used to be, I don't think. And so that kind of allows for this custom space to be filled, right? And I found this company called Newport Convertible Engineering. I think I found them. I'm in a bunch of weird Facebook group. And one of them seems I don't even remember. It's a group for like some big car news website.
Okay.
Car Buzz or Car Throttle, maybe. I don't even remember. But a lot of it's like the people who write for it. I don't even know how I ended up in it. But there's a bunch of Tesla nut swingers in there.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I fit in well.
Yeah, that's your people.
Yeah, absolutely. This Newport Convertible Engineering Company, they got mentioned in one of these threads because they make Tesla convertible conversions. And so I clicked on their website and I'm paging through it. And on top of their Tesla cars, they make a ton of these other ones that some of these are kind of absolute insanity. And so I felt the need to talk about a few of these.
What's weird too is like they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 locations. They've been around since '83.
Yeah.
They make custom convertibles, luxury car design, armored vehicles, some other things. I haven't clicked on everything yet, but
I know that like way back in the day, right? There was a higher demand for convertibles. Like I'm talking 60s, 70s, maybe even a little bit into the 80s. There were a lot of muscle cars that never became this way, and there were companies that made like third gen Firebirds, and there were some of the Buicks of that era that were converted into convertibles. And the guy that my dad bought that International from in Chicago, he had like a Buick Skylark or something like that didn't exist as a convertible, that had been converted to it, and it was a pace car.
Oh, weird.
And so I don't know if all the pace cars were converted to convertibles or if his was a pace car that was converted. I'm not sure which. But it had a V6 and it's like super not like desirable, but it's rare.
Yeah. Actually,
and so like this convertible conversion thing's been a thing for a while.
Huh.
So
I would imagine a lot of engineering goes into this because no one's going to take a Model S and then hack it up and then have them put like some manually controlled shitty convertible. Like, I mean, it's probably got to be automatic. It has to seal really well. I'm assuming these people that are buying this also want it to be super good at keeping the heat out or in, depending on the weather.
Yeah. So not only do they make they make a Model S and a Model 3 convertible, but they also make a 2-door Model S.
Oh, whoa.
And a 2-door Model S convertible.
That's such a weird looking car. It's
a very strange looking car, but I kind of like it, Robbie.
They should make a 2-door non-convertible.
They do. They make a.
Oh, where's that at?
So if you look across the top there, right below their locations, there's the custom convertible tab, the custom classic cabriolet tab, and the luxury car design tab.
Okay.
If you click on luxury car design, there's actually a couple in here that are really weird.
The i8 Targa is kind of cool.
I actually kind of really like the i8 Targa.
Yeah, Targa's good.
They make a BMW i8 convertible, which actually I think looks pretty good too.
The i8 convertible
and an i8 Targa top, which I really like Targas. Targas and T-tops are rad, and if they put T-tops or Targa tops on that 400Z, I will be head over heels in love with that.
Agreed.
That would be
100%
so rad.
agree. That looks so good.
So, but they also make a Model S Coupe, which is pretty sweet.
That doesn't look bad. That looks not bad.
They make this Mercedes G63 Mega, which is like a stretched wheelbase G63. I don't know if they actually make them or not, but they have the 6-wheel drive one. I bet they've never actually made this Bentley Bentayga 6x6 they have on here, but I'm sure if you're willing to pay for it. There's a couple on here that I don't think they've actually made that I think are just renderings.
Yeah, that Bentley looks like no way it's been made.
There's no way, dude.
we would have seen it somewhere.
Way down at the bottom, there's a Rolls Royce pickup that looks like an El Camino, but it's a Rolls Royce.
I love it.
There's no way that's real.
It
says
perfect.
They will design and engineer your Rolls Royce.
Perfect.
Dude, it's...
What a perfect daily driver.
It's a deal, man. It's a thing that doesn't exist, but there's a rendering of it, and I'm kind of offended by it. As an El Camino fan. I'm not gonna call myself an aficionado, a fan of the El Camino and the trucklet for that matter, because I really like the Scamp and the Rampage, which was like the front wheel drive Dodge version of that. I'm kind of offended by the Rolls Royce Camino.
Why?
Because it looks really stupid.
No, it doesn't. It looks great.
No way, dude.
Yes,
That's terrible.
It looks great.
These people should be. So, newportconvertible.com for those of you who are listening and are not on the YouTubes, or you can just go to the YouTubes, and Robbie's probably following along pretty well.
I am, actually.
But it's not good, man. It's not good.
It's not good. It's great.
No.
It's great.
No, I can't support these things.
I bet they didn't even have to extend this thing. It's like the wheelbase is already that long and perfect.
I think that's exactly where it's at. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. We need more of this.
Not a big fan. Not a big fan.
I'm not going to read all the words, but yeah, it's great.
No. So back on the convertible tab, because there's a couple in here that we need to talk about.
Okay.
The Nsx Convertible.
Yikes.
And now I'm double guessing things because I thought that existed.
The old one?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, because when I opened it up, it pulled up a picture of the new style, and it confused me.
Oh, if you click on it, is there a new one?
Yeah, the renders of a brand new one. So it looks.
Yeah, look at that.
Which is really weird because it looks like a C8 in the render.
See, I kind of wonder if any of these cars exist.
Some of them have to, right? This picture.
I bet that new one doesn't.
The new one doesn't. I bet the old one does because that picture looks
they've
real.
Made a bunch of these old ones though.
Yeah.
Taking orders on new Nsx convertibles. Please contact us.
Is this like Tesla taking pre-orders and just making promises?
This appears to have been written before that car was even released, because it says things about. Oh, maybe they're talking about the Nsx Type R. This will reportedly involve the use of more exotic materials to cut weight, possible active aerodynamics, and even a reworked drivetrain that could make the car rear-wheel drive. Yeah, I don't know that this car exists. I'm going to assume that most of these do not exist.
If there's not a picture that's obviously real, then for sure doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like the newer style for sure doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
But the old one does.
Yeah. Farther down, there's a Cayenne convertible, which is a four-door sedan or a four-door SUV, which I don't understand.
It looks like the Rogue convertible.
No, the Murano.
Yeah, the Murano. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't get it, man.
Why do you want that?
Like, I get like the Jeep convertible, the Jeep body style, or like in this particular website, they have a G63 G-Wagon right next to it. I don't totally hate that as a design. Like, that makes sense. But the like more rounded modern day SUV doesn't work.
Well, it's really
it just
weird.
Doesn't work.
What's really weird about the rounded new SUVs is that they leave the pillars on the doors.
Well, I think they have to.
They should, if they're going to take all the time to redesign that convertible, they should take the time to redesign the doors. It can't be that hard. That's the easy part.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It looks awful with the doors normal. Like, it's got normal doors, but then it just has the convertible. It's ugly.
Well, they've got that Lexus Lx 570 right next to it too, and that's not any better.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, both of them, they're just
It's
awful.
pretty hot garbage as well.
It makes the Murano convertible look good.
But like the Range Rovers don't look so bad. The Range Rovers are okay. I wouldn't own one.
Well, the F-150 convertible, what the hell are they doing?
That's hot garbage.
What's happening?
That was one I had to talk about, because that and the Cadillac Escalade ESV, is that what it was? The Avalanche Escalade.
Hold on.
Robbie, you could have got an Avalanche convertible.
The Avalanche has enough things against it. It's fine. I don't need any.
But I think that's a real one. Like, I think that's not just something they could make you. That's something that someone has chosen to buy. And they literally just cut the top off of it.
I'm trying to catch up on pictures because the website keeps
Sorry.
freezing. No, you're fine. The website's just giving me a hard time.
Yeah, I'm not convinced they're a real company still.
I think they are. Because that Cadillac clearly exists.
Right, but still?
Yes. You should call that number. It's got a phone number.
Yeah,
A real phone number.
I'm not going to do that.
Well, if you call now, it'll go to voicemail.
That's fair, but I'm still not going to do it.
You want me to do it?
No. No.
Oh, come on. What happens if someone fucking answers like it's a cell phone?
Because you know it is. It's like two guys in a garage. So, farther down here, the Porsche Panamera convertible.
I'm sure you love it.
I can't decide whether I'm in or out. Top down, it doesn't look that bad. But I bet it looks real bad top up.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is a real car either.
That one looks like a render to me.
Oh, it looks like somebody started making one. At least they have some in progress pictures of one.
Oh, yeah. That's sure enough.
Man.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Very strange. And then there's a GTR.
No.
Yeah.
Did
kind of like it, Robbie.
You do not.
No, because I kind of like the.
Oh, it's got the humps in the back, like the Ferrari.
Yeah, the like tonneau cover, if you will. I kind of like it, Robbie.
Oh, give me a picture. Give me a decent picture. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a better picture than that.
Yeah, but, if you scroll down. Yeah, if you look at the picture down from the the side profile, the rear looks kind of like the what's the Porsche that killed Paul Walker?
Son of a gun.
Not 918. It's the
nope. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I've seen one. We saw one race at one lap.
Yep, we talked. It was at Hot Import Nights too.
Carrera GT.
Thank you, man. There's so many people screaming at their phones right now.
Oh my good golly.
Yeah, the rear kind of looks like a Carrera GT because it's got the humps that kind of follow the target top.
I kind of like that, Robbie.
It's not as bad as I was anticipating. It looks awful with with it up though.
Yeah, the top up's not good. Not good at all. These are the guys who also make the Toyobaru as a convertible. I have seen that car in real life, the orange one that they have pictured on here, which is like a pretty wild, wide body show car build.
Looks like I've seen it. SEMA. Yeah,
it looks really good in real life. These actually make really good convertibles.
That doesn't surprise me, especially with the wide body. It looks almost like an MR2.
Yeah, I mean this is a pretty extreme build. But if you go in there a little bit farther, they have a few pictures of just a stock one.
Okay.
Their very last few pictures are just a stock one, and I think they actually make really good looking convertibles.
It's not bad. It's not as bad as I would expect.
The lines work. Like it looks to me like they almost kind of designed it with the thought of maybe building a convertible down the road.
Yeah, that'd be super easy to make look normal, natural. It looks natural.
Yeah, it doesn't look weird. So I really like that.
Definitely wouldn't say I really like it, but it works.
Well, I wouldn't own it.
That's fair.
I think so. There was an episode where of Top Gear where the three guys they each got convertible cars, and I don't even remember which ones they all had. I know that one of them was in a TT, and that's why the episode sticks out in my head so much. And then I know that one of them was in probably a Miata or
a Z,
or maybe it was like a BMW Z3 or something like that. But
didn't one of them have a 350Z or Z370?
Maybe one of them was in a 350Z. That seems reasonable. But I remember at the end of the show, they kind of came to the conclusion that cars that are originally designed to be convertibles from the get-go are perfectly fine. Cars that are designed to be hard tops and then later retrofitted to be convertibles are hot garbage.
Yeah.
And I think they're right about that.
I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that.
I think that's an accurate statement.
Yeah,
So
I'll never find.
I don't know.
out.
There's just some weird ones in here. You know, they've got the Charger and the Challenger convertibles. I've seen those before in places. It's kind of cool. But yeah, they just make some weird or claim to make some weird stuff.
I bet they're busy. I bet they have a backlog. Like I bet it's a year wait list.
Well, I bet they do all right because
I bet it's not cheap, and I bet people are lined up for this.
Yeah,
they do hardtop convertibles.
Also,
fuck yeah, they do.
They also make armored cars.
Yeah,
like armored G Series and armored, like pretty much any armored Mercedes, Escalades, stuff like that. So they make these pretty wild armor cars too, and yeah, they make a lot of things. So maybe that's what keeps them busy. I don't know.
I bet you would be shocked at how big this place is.
Yeah, maybe.
An armored AMG G63 6x6.
That's the most Robbie car I've ever seen in my life.
That'd be great.
I don't know why you think that's cool.
Maybe cool is not the right word.
You would own it.
It's the douchiest thing I would own for sure. For sure.
At least you're okay. Like you're open to admitting the fact that it's totally douchey.
My license plate would say douche.
That's fair.
Just to remove all doubt. I'm fully aware of, I'm self-aware of my douchiness while I'm driving it.
You'd for sure end up as the butt of a joke on a podcast somewhere.
I've been the butt of a joke on 230 episodes of a podcast.
Well, I mean,
yes.
Anonymously.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Somebody would see that driving down the road or would see that on the internet somewhere. And you would end up as the butt of the joke for sure.
Yeah, but I'd have such a blast in it. I'd have to have Dalton give me some cowboy tribal knowledge so I could have some tribal too. Just go full.
That's not like cowboy tribal. That's like
no, but I would almost have to try to make it my own, because I can't just go with the Dan Bilzerian look. I got to be different.
That's fair.
I got to be my own special kind of douche in my 6x6.
And if you click on the NCE tab at the top there next to custom convertibles, and then you click on facilities, this place is not small, Robbie.
That's their HQ in Huntington Beach.
So their place in Barcelona, Spain looks super legit.
Uh-huh.
There's some really epic cars in there. And then apparently they have a factory in Detroit that builds a lot of armored vehicles.
That is so many vehicles.
Yeah, but they're building money transferring, armored trucks for banks and ATMs and stuff.
Yep.
Like Brinks.
Yeah.
Trucks. I always wanted to build a stereo truck out of one of those.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be super rad. And I wouldn't have to worry about making it fall apart and stuff.
No, I can handle it.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be that loud outside because it's all contained.
I wonder what a used one of those costs.
I don't even know that's really a thing.
I've never seen one available.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe this place is a way bigger place than I think it is, Robbie.
I think it is freaking massive. I bet
their Dubai place does just fine for itself as well.
Yes.
They might actually be selling 6x6 Bentaygas out of that place in Dubai
every week.
Yeah, it might actually. And Rolls Royce pickup trucks.
Yeah. Because I would imagine their Huntington Beach, California headquarters, just the lease alone cannot be cheap. You got to be selling.
Beach. There's nothing cheap in Huntington Beach. Nothing.
I realize this has nothing to do with the podcast, but I saw today that somebody posted that the median price of a house in California right now just eclipsed $700,000. That's
I don't get it, man.
Fucking insane.
I don't get it, man. Where does it all come? It's fake. It's imaginary. You can just pick whatever amount of money you want to make, or you want to make things, and just charge that.
$700,000. It's unbelievable to me. You know what that would buy you in Iowa? Like the fourth nicest house in West Des Moines. Okay, no, that's not true.
Yeah,
it would get you. It would get you a damn nice house with like 4 acres.
WHO, which is one of our local news channels, on their like website and Facebook page, they do like a Mansion Mondays or something like that, and they're always posting posting listings of houses. Like, look at this $1.2 million mansion. It's the 5th biggest house in Iowa or whatever.
Yep.
By square footage, you know.
Yeah, no, like the most expensive houses in Des Moines would be just like an average price nice house in California. It's crazy.
That's so nuts. I don't know how people can handle it.
Me neither. That's why we live in Iowa.
I mean, the cost of living is much higher, and you make more money to do.
Yeah, of course.
You know, for the same work, because that's what it costs. But or you just live in apartments.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of people that just live in apartments or rent or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the housing figure came out, but
right,
it's just the person that I follow on Instagram that is now a realtor in California posted it, so I feel like it's legit.
That person's crushing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Life.
I'm pretty sure she's doing very well for herself now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Very sure.
I think I would be a real estate agent, and like her entire Instagram has shifted to like real estate stuff. But it's just kind of funny to just watch that shift. Just like if you're selling half of these houses, you're doing very well. But anyways,
I mean, there's plenty of realtors that doing very well selling houses here in Iowa, so I can only imagine.
Yep. Yeah, 6% or 3 to 6% commission on a $1 million house. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad living.
Probably doing it wrong, Robbie.
There's a lot of things I'm doing wrong at.
I could just drive around all day showing people houses. Like, I'd have to buy like a big Infinity SUV or something like that. It'd be all right though.
Yeah, you could go to these guys.
I could buy this Lx 570 convertible.
Now we're talking.
From this NYC or NCY place or whatever it is.
Yeah. NCE.
There you go.
Whatever.
NCE. And just, use that as my nice day showing vehicle.
Yeah, because you got to
drive people around in my convertible Lexus.
You got to flex on people when you're showing these houses.
Absolutely. Well, they're not going to like want to be escorted around in my '99 Blazer.
No, you can't show up in a Hyundai. Sorry.
No.
My God, the F-150 is bad.
Isn't it?
I can't get over how bad the F-150 is.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
That one's my least favorite.
It's definitely not a good thing.
No. I'll say that my favorite's the Rolls Camino just because it annoys you, but this one's for sure my least favorite.
I really like the 2-door coupe Model S.
That one, it works. It really does. It kind of looks
that looks good.
If I had to describe it, it would look very similar. What's the Lexus LS? That little 2-door LC. The
LC 500?
No. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that little coupe that they sell that's ungodly expensive, but it looks good. That's what that car reminds me of. Wherever the hell it went.
So,
anyways,
that's all I got. Convertibles, man.
This convertible rant brought to you by Factory Fabrication, factoryfabrication.com for all your commercial and residential fabrication needs. Or if you need a roll bar or cage in the Des Moines area, they'll hook you up. I don't know if that's part of their business model, but I'm going to keep pushing it.
So, do you know what kind of cage you're doing?
My plan, again, it's still, I got to talk to Booney again. The plan was to make it WRL and GLTC legal.
So it's going to be like NASCAR door bars and the whole 9 yards. You're going to cut the doors apart a little bit to make it work.
Yeah, the doors are completely gutted. I added those brackets to hold the windows in so I can clip them in and out real quick. But yeah, the plan was to do NASCAR bars and then all sorts of like reinforcement that would be allowed per those rules. Then I'm kind of going to go verify it against any like NASA and SCCA and just kind of see what the differences are. But realistically, as long as it's WRL and GLTC legal, it's kind of where I'm going with it.
Right.
So.
I'm surprised you're not building a spec car.
You mean currently?
Yes.
The thought has very much crossed my mind.
I think the only reason that I would struggle, well, other than the fact that it's spec racing, it could not interest me less. But my biggest hurdle for that with the cars that you have is that I don't think that we have a rip-roaring Spec Z scene.
No, we do not. And I don't want to pay to be in NASA, if I'm being completely open about where I want to put my money.
Right.
Yeah, so the cost of entry at NASA is quite expensive.
Oh, really? I've never looked into their
time trial is like double what ours is.
Oh, really?
It is.
That's crazy because it's like a fairly popular program.
They do get a lot of track time, is my understanding. But like, and I might be, it could be completely off base now. But like, I remember looking into it, and the prices were quite a bit higher. But again, it's a different show. It's a totally different setup.
Right.
But
they've kind of a similar rule set. They use power to weight.
Yep, that's where Midiv kind of took the rule idea, like or the competition idea was the same idea.
I like their rule set as a autocross classic.
I don't know their autocross classic.
It's their time trial classic.
Oh, then yeah, I like that a lot.
Because in there, I think there only ends up being like 8 classes or 9 classes or whatever it is. And chances are you're going to end up racing against somebody, which would be a kind of an interesting change of pace for me.
Yeah. No, I really like it having fewer classes. And because, I mean, the Midiv series has kind of shown that like the power to weight ratio works to have different cars and then have them be competitive against each other. I mean, I'm convinced. Yeah. I think it, my opinion, and I will probably, if it ever grows to that point where we'll have to kind of address it, but like once you get above like my car's power to weight ratio, it's kind of the Wild West. So like Dalton's 495 sub 500 Corvette is going to be, racing against 1,000 horsepower car if they show up. So I mean, if Midiv gets to that point where we have like an unlimited class, I think we're going to have to start staggering that power to weight ratio a little bit and start adding classes.
I think that
I don't think it'll
get as it grows. I think you could add one more class above E.
Yeah, I think you'd almost have to have an F would be like your unlimited.
Yeah,
D, E, and F would be your higher, your quicker cars. Yeah. We've been talked about. It's not an issue now, but yeah, I mean,
there's not enough cars in E to matter.
No, but
there's definitely room for that if you decided you wanted to.
Definitely, yeah. Like if Ferris wanted to show up to a Midiv event, he'd have the fastest car, or anyone with like 750 horsepower, they're going to be, if they can drive at all, they're probably the fastest car.
Right.
So, where were we?
That's kind of a good segue though, because we want to talk about your last Midiv TT event.
Yeah, it was a weird weekend because
I completely forgot that it was this weekend.
Completely
forgot about it because I had kind of hoped to maybe come with, because I have yet to make it to any of your Midiv TT events, and I want to go to one of those. And for some reason, the St. Louis event always seems to have stuff going on around it.
Yep, this weekend for sure. This was supposed to be our April event, and it got postponed multiple times. And then it got compressed into a one-day event. I kind of complained about it last week. Given the number of cars there, it actually worked just fine. But if we had double the cars, it would have been an issue. But yeah, it was just kind of weird because there was only going to be 6 time trials cars there, and then my attitude about it was just like, what's the fucking point? So like I kind of went into it just like, well, let's just get this over with, which is really like not the right attitude to have. But
especially for the director.
Yep. So I'll be completely open about my feelings. But like like the whole week built, like always building up to an event. I'm like, as the week goes on, I'm like excited, like I'm ready to go. Like, I double check the car every day. Like I just kind of give it a once over, or I'll pack things and kind of like have all my stuff packed up in the corners. All I have to do is throw it in the truck. It's ready to go. Verify, like, I got my track maps, or like I got, all my stuff that needs to be charged. Like leading up to it was just like, I got all that. Thursday night, I'll just throw it all in the car. And like everything was like, there was no like scramble to get ready. There was no like build up. I mean, we had announced that there was no payouts for sponsors this year just because it's been such a weird year. 3 weekends doesn't count as a full season. 4 would have, but 3 won't. So I think between the turning into a one-day event, Nationals being the weekend after, Grid Life being the weekend before, there was...
And after. And after. Grid Life next weekend.
Yep. And I think there was stuff going on at Hallett. There was stuff going on in Joliet in, what's it, Audubon? So, like, all the Spec Racer Ford guys, obviously not talking about time trials at this point, but, like, all the Spec Racer Ford guys were up at Joliet. So, like, the club racer scene was small. So, it was just it was a weird weekend. So, like, you show up and we treated it like an HPDE. So, it was just every time attack driver in the same session. And that's would have been an issue on any other weekend. This weekend it was fine because there's only 6 of us, but like I threw on the 2 Hankook Z 214 tires I had from last year that were, they had 1 day left in them. I mean, I actually brought a set of extra spare Toyos just in case. I ran 2 Toyos in the rear, 2 Hankooks in the front. I'm like, these are my 4 worst tires. Let's just get let's burn these up. Points don't matter. Let's just have a good day. But like, even like the first session, it was weird because, or even before that, I guess, I get there Friday night and like no one's there. I set up my tent and no one's there. I'm like, I text Dalton. I was like, man, why aren't you here? Dalton totally forgot about the whole thing. Like he was trying to convince me that he had no idea it was happening, which is, I find that super weird. He was always on top of it. Like he always procrastinates to sign up, and I just assumed he was going to sign up super late, or he had something else going on. He just totally forgot.
I totally forgot about it.
So I mean, it is what it was. But yeah, like I show up and like all the normal guys I hang out with aren't there, and even the couple that I do know fairly well are either sleeping in hotels or showing up later. So I get everything set up. There's not enough cars to justify doing tech at night, so we're just going to wait till the morning. And even then, it's just like there's no point in weighing the cars. There's only 6 of them. And like, there's no points. So as long as they're safe, we're going out. But yeah, it was super weird because like I'm sitting there, 8 o'clock. All right, well, now what? So I'm sitting in my tent with like the trouble light behind me, reading a book till like 9:30, and then I'm like, I went to bed, like so early.
Oh, Robbie, that's so funny to me.
But was
sitting in your tent with your trouble light, reading a book.
The worst part was that the battery died, and then I had to go and like find the plug-in so I could get it to work again, so I could keep reading. Like there was
that's hilarious.
There's like nothing going on like Instagram or Facebook or anything either. So like just politic drama. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm not reading that. So I just kind of put my phone away and like if it buzzes, I'll answer it, but otherwise I'm just gonna sit and read.
There's so few people there that Robbie was missing human interaction. That's how boring
I've gotten so used to having like friends I hang out with at track days. So like when like even if Dalton's not there or like the regular crew's not there, it's just like this isn't a lot of fun when there's just me here.
Well, that's kind of the whole point of it, though, isn't it? You know? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that
like I know the driving is fun and the competition is exciting and stuff like that, but the whole point of it is that you're supposed to go and hang out with your buddies and do buddy stuff. And when they're not there to do that, it kind of kills it.
Yes, I completely agree. So then, I go to bed super early. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll wake up super early. I give a car another once over. I can kind of help with tech, just make things super easy. It dropped down to like 40 degrees. I was freezing my ass off. I was so happy I brought my extra blanket, but I should have brought 2. So, I was that close to being outside my comfort zone. Like I slept most of the night. Like I actually slept really well most of the night. I woke up a couple times, had to readjust the blanket, so my legs weren't cold. But again, I don't like being in 40-degree. It's like October at Gingerman. It's always cold. So I thought for sure I was going to wake up super early. So as soon as one person makes a noise, I'm awake. So I'm thinking 5:30, 6 o'clock. Track goes hot at 8. I rolled out of bed at 7:30. I don't know.
Holy shit, Robbie!
I roll out and look at my phone, like, oh fuck, I'm on track in a half hour.
Sleeping in.
So I get everything ready. I drink half my coffee and go to grid. And the first session went fine. I was running times that I finished the season on last year. I did minute 10s. I don't know. It was like in my head, I felt like I was going super slow and like not pushing it, and just kind of had this like, there's no point in pushing it. There's nothing to gain by taking risks today. And I was still putting down decent times. And then towards the end of the session, I was like trying different lines, and then I was making mistakes. So I was getting into like, I was thinking if I took the last turn before going down the back or going down the bank, if I took it a little wider, it'd give me a better approach to it, which really is not the case, because I was getting into like the other people's rubber, and it was kind of, it just throwing me off. So I made a couple mistakes and just called it a session. Did the same thing in the actual time session. Just went out there and ran a few laps. Like I think I did like 10 or 11 laps and kind of pushed it, but not. I didn't risk anything. I wasn't about to, to stuff it into a wall again. And then in the third session, same thing. I just treat it like an HPD, working on some technique stuff, just getting comfortable driving, sliding the car a little bit. And then halfway through the session, because we have such diverse cars, like you got the Porsche GT4, which is running like consistently minute 8 laps. So, he's fast, like real fast. Like him and Dalton were.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Him and Dalton are like the same times. This is his home track. This is where he runs all the time. So, he's very consistent. And so, obviously, he's lapping people pretty quickly because we got, production A cars, which are like 100 horsepower Miatas, all the way up to, this GT4. So, I was catching up to Mike. He's been running with us all year, but we've never been in the same session because he's in production C. So, he's in a BMW M3, I think. I don't know. It's an older BMW. But
they're all the same.
It's fine. It's just an older BMW. So, he's been around with us all year. He works corners all the time. So, he knows what he's doing. But I think he was trying to be too nice. And I was trying to set myself up to... so, we're going down right before the chicane. I should have a track map up when I do this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, no.
5 and 6. Turn 5 and 6. We'll just say 5 and 6 for now. But like okay. I was catching up to him, and I was trying to set myself up so that I could get behind him before the long diminishing radius turn, and then that straight before the hairpin. So like as soon as we could finish that turn, I could go wide, pass him on the straight, and then take the hairpin and go down the bank. But I caught him at like apparently the wrong time for him. So right before the chicane, he sees me in his mirrors, slams on the brakes and points me by. I'd already committed to being right behind him. So
oh no.
Was not expecting a point by, was not expecting to hit the brakes. So I just locked him up, slid the tires, flat spotted him all the way to the course. I'm like, we're done today. Came in on the session, confirmed sure enough that I had worn down to the cords on a couple spots on the insides. He was just trying to be nice, and him and I were completely on opposite pages. Like he was trying to point me by, I was trying to follow. It just inexperienced driving together. So it is what it is. Came in, checked it out, brought my spare tires. So I was like, well, I could just swap these on, and we'll move. Go back out for the last 2 sessions, and we'll be good. The only majors race that didn't have a tire machine at it was the one that I needed them. And of course, the guy that normally does it is there. He's like, well, you can come to my shop if you want. It's like 20, 30 minutes down the road. I'll $9 on, $9 off. I was like, that's fine. I'm sure going to miss the 4th session, maybe make it back to the 5th session. I really don't want to spend the rest of my day scrambling to go to your shop and back just to put a session on these tires, and then I'm going to feel obligated to take them off and put them in the garage because they're fine yet. I was like, fuck it, let's call it a season. The car's in good shape, tires are shot. I'll just help everybody with the grid and stuff the rest of the day.
I mean, that was kind of your goal, though, was to finish this season without having something you have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to focus on the endurance Porsche, and I want to get tinker on the Z. I don't want to have to do anything to the 240. I mean,
right. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, the 240 is where it's at, and that's kind of what I was thinking about, because like I don't plan on doing anything with the Z next year except just develop it, put time, do some track days with it, some testing. And then with the intention would be to get experience doing endurance racing with the Porsche, and then really wasn't sure where the 240 fit into all that. So I was like, well, I could sell the 240, which is weird that's even crossed my mind.
No.
But yeah.
No way. You might put some streetability back into it, but I don't foresee you ever selling it.
Yeah, it's crossed my mind, but nothing to the point where I even considered it seriously. Because
right.
I don't need to have the car, like the Z, done immediately, so I don't need the money right now. So I can slowly build the Z. I mean, it's fine as it is. I mean, I could take it to a track right now. It just wouldn't be quick. But so there's a few things I obviously want to do in the Z in the next 12 months before it's truly track ready. And my driving ability needs to be at least a year's worth of endurance racing before I'm really confident in any more wheel to wheel stuff. So yeah, it's in a good place.
Yeah. I can see like using the endurance racing as kind of a teaching area, because that sprint racing adds like an extra level of anxiety, nervousness.
Yeah, it's because a sense of urgency.
You have to get it. You have to get it done now.
Yeah, having never done it, I kind of feel like
it's a scary place to start.
Absolutely. And I'm for sprint racing. I'm thinking endurance kind of fits into the way I drive, because I do drive with a little bit of caution where it comes to like
patience is a key.
Yeah,
it's super important,
because I mean, it's not a joke. It's always been like I always get my fastest laps on lap 10 and 11 or 12 or 14, or like the longer the session, my times get better and better.
Right.
So like it's probably a lot to do with my inexperience as a driver, just because I can't get up to speed quick. I'm not utilizing the tires because, like, yeah, the grippiness has already fallen off by lap 10, obviously, but I'm still putting better times.
That's where some autocross practice come in handy, Robbie.
So, I mean, I have a lot to develop as a driver. I know that.
Yeah. Autocross, like literally, like if you want to be good at autocross, you are forced to learn how to be fast quickly.
Yep. Yeah. Learn it fast, not make mistakes, stuff like that. Right. So, I mean,
you got to figure
I
it
haven't
out
been
now,
doing. I haven't been doing this a lot.
Never going to get there.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. So I'm really looking forward to next year and getting a lot more experience in.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. It was a weird place to be, because like even when I'm on track, I like let's say a year ago, getting on track, I would have kind of had a lot more nervousness, and like just even if it was an HPD, it was just like would have been low, thinking about what happens if I make a mistake, or like just kind of an anxiety thing. At Gateway this past weekend, I was like none whatsoever. I was just like almost
just old hat now.
It was just a weird. I was in a really weird place with like my emotions. It's like I rolled out of bed late, just kind of threw everything together, went to grid, and just did my session. There was like no build up. There was no like, oh man, let's go. None of that. Even on track too, it was just like, just it was the weirdest feeling. I've never felt that way on track. Like I was convinced something was wrong because I had no sort of excitement. And I think it's just because I knew, it was just, as far as I was concerned, it was a test day. It was a practice day.
It's been a weird year, though.
And I do think for not being at the track as much as I was expecting to be, I still feel super burned out. So I do feel like I need to just kind of let the 240 sit for a bit, bring the Z to boonies, and just let them get it done when he gets it done. And then just focus on the Porsche on our work weekends, and that's it. Just take a step back and relax for a little bit and not feel like I have to get a bunch of shit done all at once.
You got time, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's still 3 months left in the year.
Yeah, it's September, and I have no deadlines.
2.5 months left in the year.
Yeah, I got no deadlines on anything that I'm working on right now, so it's good.
Yeah. Do you have any idea, like, how many races you plan, like, ideally to run with the Porsche next year?
The plan is 3, I think. So I think, yeah, so it's, if you look into my 2021, so the plan would be, I'm still going to be the time trials director, so I'll be either at those, even if I'm not driving, I'll be there. But yeah, if I'm there, I'm going to want to drive. So let's say I have the 240 at the 240 or the Z if I'm trying to shake something down on it for time trials. If Bill is planning to do one lap again, which I think the plan is to still do one lap, I'll do that in the C8 because I'll be here by then.
Oh, that's right.
And then 3 races with Missed Apex. Obviously, Grid Life's not going to fall off, so like I assume we're going to go to at least a couple Grid Lifes.
Right.
And even if I don't plan to drive, I assume I'll end up driving at Grid Life. That's just how that goes.
Yep.
And then Brian, the guy with the M2 that's been neck and neck with me all season in mid-iv, who kicked my ass at Gateway just because he was driving very well, and I was apparently not there. But he's got an endurance team too. He does Champ Car with, and he's like, "Oh man, you should totally come with us next year." Okay, I guess I'm doing that too. So he unofficially invited me to their, I think it was if they have one at Topeka, that was the plan. So yeah, I'll be very, very busy next year. I think that's part of it too. Is just like maybe I just need to kind of set everything aside and just relax for a minute, then start focusing on next year. It'll be a good one.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's been a weird year. It's been a really tough year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and not, yeah. I mean, just life in general. I think everything's just exhausting. Like, work's exhausting. Family life's pretty good. I can't really complain there. But, like, I mean, like, life in general seems to be exhausting this year, just hitting you from every direction. So,
you're telling me, man.
I mean, I can't really complain. I don't have anything bad going on. I just feel drained. So,
yeah.
But,
yep.
That's it for my weekend. But now that we're talking about tires, I do have a really awesome public service announcement that you're going to appreciate.
I am exceedingly excited to hear about this.
So I've been kind of stashing both good tires and shitty tires because I have nowhere to take them. So behind my shop, I had, let's say, 20 tires, I think. Well, yeah, for the sake of simplicity, I got 20 tires in the back behind my shop ready to be thrown, just disposed of is the word I'm looking for. So I see it once in a while on like the SCCA group or like Track Midwest where people will be like, "Hey, where do you take your tires?" Because there's a couple places in Des Moines. If you go to, doesn't matter what it's called. There's a place that does tire recycling and disposal. They'll charge anywhere from $3 to $5 a tire. You can take it to some like some shops. They'll take them for like somewhere between $5 to $10 a tire. So I mean, you have options if you want to pay for it. However, if you live in the Des Moines area, and I assume they do this all over the country, but like if you live in the Des Moines area, Metro Waste Authority, when they do like their cleanup days for their cities, they also do a tire disposal day where they drop a big like a container at their their city maintenance shed or whatever. So today I loaded up 16 tires into the back of the truck, drove to work, and was like, well, I'm just going to drive to Polk City after work because it's like 20 miles, but it's a little bit of a trip. But they do it like one day a year. Every city does. So like Norwalk will do it, but they didn't have a day announced. And September 24th and 25th in Polk City, was the only one announced for the rest of the year. I was like, well, this way I can get rid of the tires and I don't have to sit behind my shop for all winter just collecting all sorts of shit that gets caught in there. So I drove up to Polk City. There's just a big bin. You just throw your tires in, and then you leave for free.
So they'll let you do that even if you're not from Polk City, because I swear, like a lot of those times you see that they're like locals only have to be.
Nope.
You have to live. I didn't care. Huh?
It was, and the container was like half full. So a lot of the cities will do it one day. Like if you go to Metro Waste Authority for the Des Moines area, like you can go to the, obviously if you clicks into it, but you have to find there's a tire disposal day, and it shows all the cities and then the dates that they have the container that you can bring them to. There's like 20 cities listed out. So like, Des Moines, West Des Moines, Ankeny, Polk City, Norwalk, Waukee. So like a lot of them did it, usually do it in like around June, but Polk City was doing it September 24 and 25. Like, well, that's the end of the week. That's perfect. So I just threw him in the back of the truck, drove up there. I mean, the guy that was from the city was there. I mean, he watched me do it. No one cared. They had appliances over here, TVs and electronics over there, tires over there.
Son of a gun!
You just show up and you toss 16 tires into the thing and you move away.
I gotta look into that.
So yeah, it saved me at least $50.
Oh, for sure, dude. For sure. I'll bet I have somewhere between 15 and 20 tires that I just need to throw away as well.
Yep. No, I know back in like Northwest Iowa, and like dairies and whatnot, you could take it to people that have silage piles, and you could just throw it on this. A lot of times they would take them and put them on silage piles. So that really not really convenient. But yeah, if you live in Des Moines, I assume other cities do this during the spring or fall cleanup days for your city. I would definitely check in to see if they have free tire disposal. Des Moines, they got you covered.
I tried to talk the local go-kart track into the MV2 or whatever it is now.
Yep.
Pole position, I guess it is now.
Position.
And I was like, hey, you guys want some like smaller slicks? You can put like when you get closer to where two barriers meet up in a point.
Yep.
Put a couple of these. I got some much shorter slicks you could use, because they have a bunch of like
NASCAR tires.
They're old NASCAR slicks. And I was like, I got a bunch of smaller slicks if you want a bunch of those to fill in blank spots or whatever. And no, we don't really need those. Damn it.
Yep. So this year's been weird. So there was like like Norwalk, which of course has been super convenient for me because it's only like 5 miles away. That I guess it'd be closer to 10, but moot point. Yeah, they were one of the cities that didn't have a date scheduled, so they might not have a date scheduled this year. So, yeah, it just seems like you just kind of plan ahead, pay attention to when they announce the dates, and you just drop your tires off.
Huh.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into this, because getting rid of some tires would be super sweet.
Yep.
So, should we do some news, Robbie?
Yeah, let's wrap this up, man.
First up, the news story that I had to skip last week because I need to get to work, which I kind of need to do again this week, but it's fine. The Goodyear blimp mistaken for a UFO causing traffic jams in New Jersey.
Oh my God, New Jersey, get it together.
I was like,
this isn't. How do you make that mistake? On a clear
did you watch
night.
the videos?
Yeah, they were like freaking out about it.
They were full on freaking out about it, dude. And I don't like it. You can't really tell that it's necessarily the Goodyear blimp, but like, why do you go straight to UFO?
What's weird to me is that the people that are freaking out, stopping their cars in the middle of traffic, jumping out of their cars and filming it. Yes, yeah, I'm not exaggerating. In the middle of traffic, just jumping out of their cars, videotaping it, like freaking out. It's a UFO! It's a UFO! You're literally 10 miles from MetLife Stadium. You don't think they do this every fucking Sunday and Monday night they have a football game? They've been doing it for 50 years. And guess what? It was a Sunday night football game. It's so weird to me that people would even make that mistake.
Right.
Let alone freak out and have just groups of people buying into it.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
I don't know.
It looks way weird in the videos because they're cell phone videos, so it's like super blurry. But you can tell like it's got like a flashing logo. It's got like the blinking lights that are FAA required. So I mean, it's not like I'm pretty sure a UFO from a different planet's not going to have our FAA required lighting. Just a thought.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I don't know. There's not a lot to say about it. I just thought it was hilarious. And, yeah. I just can't believe that people stopped in traffic. Just literally
no regard for
hit
their
the
own
brakes, threw it in park, jumped out of their cars, and shot terrible camera phone videos of the blimp.
Yeah.
Freaking out about it being a UFO.
Well, it's changed in the last couple of years, too, because like when there's like now it has this like big rolling logo screen thing on it. So I mean, you can see it changing and flashing and like scrolling across the screens. I mean, it's clearly obviously an advertisement.
Right. It's definitely been modernized. So
I always like it when I see the Goodyear blimp dirigible thing. I always think it's cool.
I'm an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile man myself. Of all the promotional vehicles, that one's my favorite.
That one's good. I was so pumped when they showed up at Grid Life. Of course,
I wish we would have stayed a little longer because it would have been so awesome to see it as the pace car.
Yeah,
that would have been super cool.
Apparently,
it was too slow and it didn't work very well, but it would still been cool.
Yeah, there's no way it would have handled that because I mean it's not the shallowest of banks. I mean, it's probably not.
Yeah,
probably didn't.
It's literally built on an RV chassis, so it's not like it's a small thing.
No, it's weird how often that's in Des Moines, though.
I think there's a few of them.
Well, yeah, like because there's an Oscar Mayer factory, whatever you want to call it, or plant, I guess, that's just down by Jess's parents' place. So like, there's one that's there all the time. So it's like where it's stationed out of. So I assume there's 6 of them driving around the country at all times, but I enjoy it.
There was at one point not that long ago they were advertising help wanted to hit the road for the summer as the crew that was running that, and I don't think any of the 3 of us would have been interested, but I thought it would have been really funny, interesting podcast material if we would have applied for and gotten Oscar Mayer Wienermobile drivers.
That would have been great, and it paid shockingly well. It
paid all right. It would have been fine
for what it was.
I feel like that's too many kissing hands and shaking babies every day.
That's a lot of free whistles talking to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's talking to too many people. So I think that was kind of where the problem came in. But it would have been pretty funny.
It would have been a good time for sure.
Yeah, especially I'm sure we would have enjoyed it.
Especially if you get to take it story. If you get to take it to events and stuff, like, hey, we want you at this race or this game or whatever.
Right.
So that'd be cool. Unless it's baseball. Yeah. Unless you make me go to baseball all summer.
Gross.
That'd be awful.
So boring.
I'd rather go to bowling all summer. I said it.
At least things like having a semi-relatively reasonable pace.
I'd rather watch golf.
Baseball's so boring to watch. I know I'm not a sports guy, but it's so boring to watch.
I am a sports guy, and baseball just does not do it for me in any way. I don't know why. Because I can get into any other sport.
Yeah. So, up next, Tesla has unveiled their Model S Plaid, which is an 1,100 horsepower tri-motor with a claimed 520 miles of range.
So it's another Tesla for pre-order. We haven't delivered the last 3, but this one is another pre-order.
Well, this one is a car that is built on a car that exists, at least.
That's fair. The chassis does exist,
right? So they're not. There's not anything radical. There's no radical change in chassis. This is just some extra bits and pieces bolted onto it, some active aero stuff, if you want to call it that, a wing that moves up and down, I guess. A third motor. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Nope.
And a pretty big boost in range and power. They claim a sub 2 second 0 to 60.
That's
which,
crazy.
if that's true, is absolutely astonishing.
What tires?
And a cost of $139,990.
And you can order it right now on their website, I assume.
Pre-order it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Pre-order it.
Which is non-refundable full price. No, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm curious what tires they're running. They gotta be like Pilot Sport 2s or something.
So there is a video of it going around Laguna Seca at a minute 30.3, which makes it the fastest four-door production car ever to lap Laguna Seca, and only a handful of seconds off of the Senna time, which is the current king of production car times at Laguna Seca. And that article that I read there and then watched the video of, which, by the way, this thing is stunningly fast in a straight line and surprisingly well composed through a corner. But something about special compound Michelin Supersport or Pilot Supersport 2s.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think it's funny because they're like, these are a special compound developed specifically for the next car, which means they're not the tire. They're something else.
Yeah, so you take the $550 Pilot Sport 2 tires and then make them even more special that no one else can get.
Right. It's kind of like the ACRs.
Except probably even better.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, those tires are crazy. It just blows my mind how crazy expensive they are.
The Super Sports?
Yeah, the Cup 2s.
Yeah.
They're like 550.
Are those 200 treads?
I don't... maybe. Somewhere in like the 180 to 200 range, I thought. I don't know. They're on tire rack for like $550 a piece.
Now I want to know if they're 200 tread wears or not, so...
Oh my God.
Pilot Super Sports.
Pilot Sport Cup 2 Rs. $871 per tire.
Oh.
It is a 140 treadwear.
There you go.
I don't know if the Tesla's on cups, but yeah, the cup tire is ungodly expensive.
Pretty wild, man.
$3,400.
I think that it's absolute utter insanity that they're going to sell an 1,100 horsepower version of this car. I think that one of the things about this car that's dramatically different from other, even in like the more pedestrian P100D, which I think was rated at more of like a 600 to 700 horsepower range.
Yep.
One of the things that was kind of different about this car compared to other cars that are in the similar horsepower range is that the Tesla appealed to a much larger group of people that are arguably less capable of handling that.
Yeah,
because like there's only certain people that want a 707 horsepower Hellcat Charger. And those, generally speaking, are car people. And I'm not saying that car people are capable of that all car people are capable of responsibly handling 707 horsepower. But there's more of those people who are than, say, non-car people, computer nerds who have done well for themselves and bought a Model S. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 1,100 horsepower is, for $140,000, is unbelievable.
Staggering. And I think that it's almost scary. I know that this car kind of all but drives itself now, so maybe it's not that big a deal because most of the people who have it are never going to drive it that way anyway. But I don't know, man. I just think it's kind of scary. I don't want it to stop.
No, I do want to see high horsepower from factory cars, but like I think we've talked about this before too. Is like I think we tried with the Hellcats and stuff too. Is like, at what point is a turnkey off the showroom car a little bit too high horsepower?
Yeah,
just
pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, what other vehicle can you have 1,100 horsepower for that price?
Yeah,
and assuming they make it, which they already make this car. So let's assume that this actually is available at the end of next year. I bet we all see one of these regularly.
Thing is, you'll never know it.
True. Well, it's got to have some special thing on the side.
Yeah, it probably has a different badge in the back, and I think the wing might be obvious enough that if I was close to the car, but I think if it passed me in the other direction in traffic, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
No, I couldn't possibly tell you the difference between a Tesla and the other Teslas.
So I'm being yelled at. I don't know if you can hear that.
I can hear it.
Oh, great, excellent.
We can take that as a. We'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
As always, the news is presented by Apex Pro. I think they are out at NCM for Time Trials Nationals as we speak. Or if they're not, there's a lot of people representing for them. So like people that are using it.
So jealous.
The beginners data group that I think both of us are in on Facebook. They've been doing a lot of talking about people helping each other with this data system and getting it set up for time trials and understanding what they're doing. I know last year they were out there and they did like data reviews, and I brought mine up there, and it wasn't Andrew. Eric was the one that kind of walked through my data and was asking really good questions. Like he was showing me, like, when it does this, what does this mean? And I'd kind of, my inability to really truly explain it, but I was sort of explaining what I was doing and what I was doing wrong. He's like, yes, and then this, and he goes and like dives way deep into it. He's like, well, if you do this and this and this and this and this. And just like just showing exactly what I could be doing to improve, and it's crazy how it's such a small unit for only like $450 gives you that much data and that much useful data. So I mean, if you want to start dipping your toe into data, Apex Pro is probably your best bet. So if you want to go to apextrackcoach.com and use our code for a free window mount, you can do that. Code is 10tenths. I'll just put it in the shopping cart. But yeah, I mean, even if you don't get the window mount and you just want to start looking at data, I'm going to keep pushing you towards Apex Pro. I think that what they have there is a really good thing going. Their video lap timer plus service is really really cool, and they also have the OBD2. The OBD2 data logger as well that you can add even more data to your system. So apextrackcoach.com. But I think you are going to get yelled at, and then you're going to go to work.
I am getting yelled at quite heavily.
So I will let you continue to get yelled at, and then I will see everybody next week.
See ya.